In the previous lectures, we have been doing Elegy written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray. We have already done 11 stanzas of this poem. Today, I'll be starting from the 12th stanza. Perhaps in this neglected spot is laid some heart once pregnant with celestial fire, hands that the rod of empire might have swayed or waked to ecstasy the living lyre. First, we'll take up difficult words. Perhaps this is a surmise of the poet. Neglected spot. Here, neglected spot means the places which have not been cared for, and here it means the churchyard where the graves of the villagers are found and they are neglected because nobody bothers about them or takes care about them. Is laid, is buried. Some heart here means some village forefathers. Pregnant here means full of, overflowing with. Celestial fire is heavenly inspiration. Hands, villagers. Rods of empire, scepter of kingdom, the political power, state power. Swayed is to use effectively. Hand swayed means the poet says that perhaps in this church are buried some people whose hands might have swayed or wielded the political power. Waked to ecstasy lyre, might have become good musicians had they got the opportunities. So, after having shown that the poor and the rich are both alike after death, Gray in this elegy shows in this stanza that the poor are not necessarily devoid of greatness. He points out that even among these buried villagers, there might have been people born with heavenly inspiration, the luxury and eminence of having magnificent tombs built over their grave. Nevertheless, they were endowed with extraordinary merits. They had no opportunity to show them. He says below one of these obscure, unknown graves might be resting a man who had the capabilities of ruling over a whole empire, or a man who had great political genius. Greatness is not the monopoly of the rich, it exists equally in the humble. It is fate which makes some great and others obscure. These lines show how deep the sympathy of the poet is for the poor and simple people. They possess no less greatness than the fortunate city dwellers who were blessed with opportunities. They were not denied to the people living in villages. So he says it's not that the poor people who they didn't have the talents, or they were not possessed with great things, but it is only that they could not get the opportunity to unravel those talents. So he says, even in these graves which are lying uncared for, there might be people who were full of heavenly inspiration, but only thing is that they could not get the opportunity. But knowledge to their eyes, her ample page, rich with the spoils of time, did never unroll. Ample page is the wide and extensive knowledge. Wide and extensive knowledge. Rich with the spoils of time, wealth of knowledge and information gathered after years of patience, toil, and labor. Unroll is to open, to unravel, but knowledge unroll, he's saying the vast and rich storehouse of knowledge gathered after years of hard work was unknown to them. Chill penury. Chill penury, poverty which has a gloomy effect upon mind. Penury again is poverty. Repress is to suppress, कुचल देना, crush. Noble rage is the noble feeling of sentiments or the poetic fire. Froze, to become, you know, to get choked, to get stifled. When there is no flow, it becomes choked. The genial current, the joyous feelings of their heart. So in these lines, the poet is referring to the tragic waste and frustration of promising persons in the villages. They had promising future, but because of the lack of opportunity, all their talents got crushed or blocked. The poet gives expression to his intense grief at the fact that many persons who are endowed with talents and outstanding abilities live an obscure, unknown life, unhonored. No stone tells where they lie. Poverty stands in their way in realizing the best that they have. They are denied the benefits of education and of accumulated knowledge of mankind stored in books. They remain ignored. They remain ignored throughout their lives, and their extreme poverty suppresses and destroys their urge for doing noble deeds. It completely damps their gay spirit and enthusiasm. The result is they fail to realize their talents. They live and die unknown. So it's not that they are not gifted. These people are also gifted with talents, with political, whether they are political or creative, or maybe the bravery, but again, they are crushed under poverty. Full many, a gem of purest ray serene, the dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare, full many a flower is born to blush unseen and waste its sweetness on the desert air. Now, purest ray serene, having great purity and brightness. Unfathomed is immeasurable, very deep. Caves here means bottom. Bear means to have, to carry. Is born, blossoms forth, उत्पन्न होना. To blush unseen, to bloom without being noted. To blush unseen, खिलना, लेकिन ऐसा खिलना कि उसको कोई देख ना पाए. And waste its sweetness air. The sweet fragrance of the flower is wasted in the desert. So he says, just as the fragrance of the flowers is wasted in the desert because nobody is there to enjoy the fragrance of those flowers, they remain unseen. In the same way, these village people, poor people, they carry within themselves so much talent, so much abilities, but nobody is able to measure them because they don't get the opportunity to bring or to manifest those abilities. So these lines are often quoted from this elegy, and they convey a sense of waste and frustration of many a genius that has to languish by force because of the lack of suitable opportunity or apt appreciation. Now he says numerous gems of great beauty, full many a flower is born to blush unseen and wastes its sweetness on the desert air. Numerous gems of great beauty remain in the hollows of the ocean and have no opportunity of being seen, praised, or appreciated. So he is comparing those, these villagers, poor people, poor villagers, poor rustics, who are like those numerous gems which lie buried in the hollows of the ocean, in the immeasurable depth of the ocean, and they don't have the opportunity to be seen or praised or appreciated by people. In the same way, these poor people, though they were so talented, they have so many talents in them, but because they did not get the opportunity, so they could not bring open to the world the talents that they had, with the result that their fragrance or their talents got wasted. So he says a very large number of fragrant flowers bloom and wither in desolate lands unseen by any admirers. They have no admirers, no, there is no one to praise them. Beautiful maidens, shy for their beauty, blush when they are looked upon and admired by a stranger. These flowers also blush, but alas, it is a matter of sadness that they have no admirers, no onlookers, and their blushing grace is wasted on the inanimate, heartless air of the deserted spot. In simple words, many gifted person cannot earn fame and admiration, for they are not known to the outer world. Many villagers endowed with extraordinary qualities cannot earn the reputation and appreciation that they really deserve. This is the tragedy of the ruler genius. So again, you come to these lines: full many a flower, just as gems, precious stones, and they are full of purity. They lie buried under the water of the ocean, because the water of the ocean is unfathomable, it cannot be measured, and nobody is able to see those precious stones, and so consequently they cannot praise them. In the same way, many flowers, they bloom in the desert, but they remain unseen, nobody is there to see them, and all their fragrance is wasted in the air which blows in the deserted area. So he is comparing those villagers who were talented, who had so many talents, powers, inherent powers in them, inherent heavenly, inspirations in them, but just like those gems and flowers, gems which are buried in the caves of ocean, and the flowers which bloom in the desert. So these poor people are like those gems and those flowers, because nobody is there to praise them, because they remain, the talents of these poor people, they remain unseen by the world.